Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would.
Release the list.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
Will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to countermand missing children and exploited children going forward.
Just last week, the president's excellent pick for FBI director, Kash Patel, vowed to work with me in releasing the Epstein records and breaking apart the trafficking rings that harm countless women and children across our country.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
All this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yep.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Kash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. It's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. I would defer you to the Department of Justice on her timeline, but when she has made a promise in the past, she has kept it, and I'm certain that she will in this case as well.
Welcome back, everybody. 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Case closed. The Justice Department revealing Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide and insists there is no secret client list out there.
My past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. And then he goes on to say this: let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking about our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it underscores what makes this story so interesting, right? Because there's a movement, this MAGA movement. Trump believes the MAGA movement is his movement, and whatever, however he defines it. But it's built on deep distrust of government.
My past supporters have bought.
Hey, Shalom. Shalom, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elder bishops and the elders and the Akim and the Aqua of the Hope of the Elect. And Shalom. Just want to go into a quick video entitled, "The Lord is Working Zion's Salvation." MAGA Disgraced. And as we see these foolish, blind supporters of hate and rage, supporting Trump. These MAGA supporters, these Make America Great Again supporters, right? We see that they have egg on their face as they've been publicly shamed as Trump has insulted them over his social media platform. I forget what it's called, I think it's called Truth Social, I think it is, but it's actually Lie Social, because they're the father of lies, right? The so-called white man, the Edomites. And so he's now, as he always do, attack those that call him out. Even his supporters were wanting the list. Now they say that the list is, the Epstein list doesn't exist. And we know that the Epstein list is has the most. See, they're not going to release the list because a person is insincere when they keep saying when they keep speaking about they're going to do this, they're going to release it, they're going to do this or do that, right? That's a very insincere, disingenuous bastard, right? And they've been kicking the can down the road until they went ahead and just showed their horns and say there is no list. And now, and even the Trumps, even idiotic Trump supporters even have a conscience about the children, that how they've gotten done by the wicked elites. And Trump is on, and by all accounts, allegedly, Trump is on that list as well. He's been photographed with the Epstein double as well. You know, he's been friends with him for, I think, at least since around early 2000s, early 2000s, probably in the 90s as well. You know, because they all roll together. And so now, you know, the Lord's working out with salvation because he's revealing the wicked. You know, the wicked is being exposed more and more. Let's see. Maybe 2 Thessalonians 2, 3. Okay, yeah. So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. And falling away is or the Israelites fell away. We fell away from our nationality, right? And we fell, and that's the prophecy of that. And then we go through our hell in the captivity here in these last days. And then now, the day of the Lord Yahushua is not going to come until that occurs, and then this as well. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. You see, that man of sin be revealed because he's passing children into through the fire into Molech, to Moose, ancient Babylonian false gods, false deities, right? Just want to get that word real quick. It's interesting anyway. So that word perdition, the man of utter destruction, see, destroying, utter destruction, perishing, ruin, destruction. We know anytime anytime Esau comes, wherever he goes, he's the virus of the earth, and he destroys. He makes everything perish around him. He's a perished vessel. He's filled with dead man's bones, right? And then, just like the Pharisees that he taught up to be wicked and spread false doctrine, right? In the old days, and now the modern day pastors. And he's the man of utter destruction. He's the hammer of the earth, the Lord's sword that the Most High is allowing to destroy. Firstly, the Israelites, you know, he's using them to punish us right now. But his time is up. That man of sin is being revealed, and as he gets revealed, just as any man, just like the man of sin that he is, he's like Cain, wickedly got upset, say that he couldn't handle the judgment that the Lord, you know, he couldn't handle the judgment from the Lord. Said it was too much, receiving that curse of the curse of Cain, which is that his melanin was stripped out of his skin. And then so he said, this is too much for me to bear, right? And the Most High put a hedge of protection around him, said that no man shall hurt him, and if any man do, sevenfold of punishment shall come upon that man. That's why when you see the so-called, that's why if anyone harm a so-called white man today, they have hell come upon them, right? From the law enforcement and any woman, any so-called white person. They move heaven and earth to make sure that they destroy whoever touches any of their people, right? But that's that protection of Cain, that curse and protection of Cain at the same time. To Esau, to the children of Esau, the Edomites, the so-called white race. So that's what that's going into. Let's see. So that's that son of perdition. He's being exposed, and all he does is he attacked those, because Trump is the man, I forget his name, I think his name is Roy Cohn. He's like Trump's old mentor way back in the day. And so he taught Trump that when anyone accuse you, they bring out facts on you about anything, anyone accuse you of anything, you attack them and you sue them. And so now Trump supporters came up against Trump asking for that list. Now Trump is reverting back to his old demonic mentorship, the way that he was taught up. And he's attacking his supporters, because that's Trump's MO. If anyone call him out on his own facts, all he does is attack them, and he'll even sue them. That's his main MO. That's why he's always attacking everybody, because he was taught that to attack people to make it go away, instead of that's a true filthy, degenerate, piece of trash. Will attack you for calling out their wickedness, and that's the spirit of the so-called white race. They're just not good people. They're not sincere. They're very disingenuous. They're not solid people. They're not solid. They're not decent at all. They're very untrustworthy individuals. They're very unsavory characters, right? Ferocious. So, and this is all going into the Most High working everything, working Zion's salvation right now, exposing that man of sin, because those things, our salvation can't occur until that man of sin be revealed, and that's proven to be Esau Edom. Leviticus 18 and 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power Yahweh. I am the Lord Yahweh. So, what does that mean? You can't sacrifice people. The heathen way, going back to ancient Babylon, is the children were being sacrificed to false gods like Molech and everything, right? And women weeping, and our wicked women of Israel were weeping for Tammuz going off, so we're not to sacrifice our children to false idols. That's a very abominable thing. And so we know that Esau does that. That's what that Epstein list is about. Children were being kidnapped. They called it Pizzagate. And that's children was being trafficked, being kidnapped and trafficked and sent to that island, and they were doing unspeakable things. But now all of a sudden that list doesn't exist, because if the devil revealed the list, then all they're going to do is be exposing themselves and revealing that they're on that list, and they were the ones sacrificing those children, passing the children into Molech through various horrible ways, right? Unspeakable ways. Does Trump know that he can't reveal it? Because if they reveal it, he's going to reveal himself. Because all of the people that the Trump supporters and these stupid Babylonians think are, good people, they will all be exposed. Proverbs 28 and 13. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. And what did Trump do? He said there's no list, and now he's attacking his own supporters for asking them and calling out the list, and calling for the list to be revealed. So they covering their sins, just like Biden pardoned his son, right? They covered their sins, and they're not going to prosper. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. So when have they ever confessed their sins? The so-called white race. When you bring up the slavery and the stealing of the land and slaughter and murder, they say that was in the past. Forget about it. Let it go. And then they condemn you and make it seem like you're the one that's in the wrong for calling out their sins. Just like Trump is attacking his own supporters for calling out his wanting the list to come out, right? So they will not have mercy. Verse 14. Happy is the man that feareth always, meaning always, fearing the heavenly Father Yahweh. But he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. And just like the Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart, the Most High has hardened the so-called white man's heart. The modern day Pharaoh, the modern day Egyptians, we're in modern day Egypt and slavery. And this is the modern day Babylonians, Babylon the Great. So they want to fall into mischief, mischief meaning iniquity, sin. Just to get that clarification, mischief. Ra means evil. It's actually Rai. It means evil. Bad evil. So they will fall into evil. So we know that they're all about evil and wickedness, right? So now we'll go to, let's drop down to verse 18. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. And we're seeing that they're falling in their ways. Falling at once meaning falling really fast. And we know, we read about that here. John 10 and 18. Oh no, hold up. Luke, is it Luke? let's see, Luke 10 and 18. Now, Salakia. We slide that out the way there. 10 and 18. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. You see, that's a so-called white man. And they'd be like, oh, he's not the white. And they got the scoff and say, oh, the white man, he's not Satan, so-called white man. So right here, see this dragon is talking about the dragon here. And when you read that from verse 1 on down, you realize that dragon is, you see right there, the red dragon is Satan. You see? See, the dragon and Satan are one and the same, because the dragon follows Satan. And so that dragon is talking about the so-called the Roman Empire the dragon is the Roman Empire that was trying to murder Yahushua when he was born, the Messiah, right? Because we know that Herod was trying to kill the Messiah, right? Everyone knows about that. No room at the end. You know, people, wicked Christianity make plays about that, right? No room at the end. As a child, I was even a part of that play when I was a child, you know. Reenacting that back in the day before I came to the truth, you know. And these days, I'm an adult now. But, so, Revelations 12 and 9, this dragon is the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire revives as Babylon the Great America. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent. What serpent? The serpent that lied to Eve to make her go off and bring sin into the righteous bloodline of Adam, right? Because she persuaded Adam to go off and sin. So that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, you see? So the red dragon, the Most High let us know symbolically, parabolically, who the dragon is. That's the Roman Empire. And then also the Most High, and then down further, the Most High code with it, right? He linked that great dragon, right, to the old serpent from the garden. And then that's the devil. That means deceiver, slanderer, false accuser. And Satan means adversary. So that's the so-called white race. That lets you know that's the Romans. And who are the Romans? It's the so-called white people. Not hard to see, right? Yeah, so which deceiveth the whole world, because all they do is lie and deceive. And they're trying to deceive now, saying that the Epstein list doesn't exist, when in fact that it does. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him, you see. The angels is his people, all of his people, and allies. You know, and death angels, you know, the left-hand side angels, because those demons are with Satan, and the devils and demons are with the so-called white race right now, deceiving the whole earth. So now going to Psalm 74. In verse 12. For Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua is my king of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. And how is he doing that? That day can't come, the day of salvation, the day of the return of Yahushua can't come, and except that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, right? So, and that's the Most High working our salvation in the midst of the earth right now. Our power, Yahweh, is our king of old, right? The king of all existence. So now we'll go to verse 2. Remember thy congregation, and that's the Israelites, which thou hast purchased of old. And he gave Israel, he gave Egypt, you know, as a ransom for Israel, right? And the Most High purchased us of old when he delivered us out of Egypt during the Exodus. The rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. So the Most High dwells within Zion, Mount Zion. That's another name for the Israelites. Now we'll go to verse 18. Remember this, that the enemy hath reproached, O Lord Yahweh, and that the foolish people have blasphemed thy name. See, let's go back real quick. Yeah, that the foolish people, and who are the foolish people? The so-called white man, the so-called white race. You know, chiefly them. Job 30 and verse 8, I believe. They were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. They're the most wicked in the whole entire earth. So that's what that's going into. So now, that's what those foolish people are. Psalms 14:1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. And who came up with atheism? Who came up with the term atheist, meaning they don't believe a God exists, right? They don't believe the Most High they don't believe that the Heavenly Father doesn't exist, right? The so-called white race, they came up with atheism. No other nation has that as their belief. No other heathen nation believe that there is no power. At least they know that there's a higher power, right? Even though they're often serving false gods. But they have enough sense to know that there's a higher power than them. But only the white race will say that there's no power, right? They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. You see? So all these people are wicked. Majority of these people, only the 2/3 will be saved, and that's biblical prophecy. So Psalm 74:23. Forget not the voice of thine enemies, the tumult of those that rise up against thee increaseth continually. So they're increasing more and more. More and more men are, blaspheming the Heavenly Father, and they have their leagues and alliances against the Heavenly Father, the true proper doctrine, His name, and Yahweh name and Yahweh name that they come up against and try to hide, and His chosen nation, the Israelites. Matthew chapter 12 and verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So Satan is divided against Satan, and his kingdom shall not stand. Trump and his supporters, they're now at odds with one another. Trump is shaming them and disgracing them, right? Insulting them, slandering them, calling them out. They already been that, but as long as they were on his side, he was cool. But now that he's being called out for not bringing that list out, and they have questions about their list, like why is he, changing up like that, right? Why he changing the narrative that it doesn't exist and just straight lying? Now he's attacking them. That the serpent is only loyal to his own belly, and he even destroys his own self. So we know that they're going to fall off that alone. Psalm 75 and verse 7. But Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, is to judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So it's the Most High that take kingdoms down and rise up another one in its stead. That become a new, and another nation will come up and become the world superpower. It's the Most High that tear down one nation, one world superpower, and put up another one. And it's only for a season, because it's the heathens. But the kingdom that will be set up for eternity, forever, it will be the kingdom of heaven. Of Yahweh and Yahushua and the Israelites, the children of Israel, Mount Zion. Verse 8. For in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poured out of the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall rain them out and drink them. So beginning with the so-called white race, they're going to drink the very bitter end of that. They're going to drink all the bitter contents, the uttermost bitter contents of that cup of judgment. Look at that word, dregs. Dregs, leaves. Let me see what root word that comes from. Give heed. Okay, let me see, it may not be, okay, but dregs meaning the worst part of that judgment. The most bitter judgment is the very end of it. You know, the most hardcore portion of that judgment. They will drink it all. So they're going to wring them out and drink them. Verse 9. But I will declare forever, I will sing praises to the power of Yahweh of Jacob. So it lets you know that the Israelites will inherit the kingdom of heaven for eternity. Verse 10, all the horns of the wicked also will I cut off. So that horn go into power. So the powers of the earth right now, so-called white race and all the heathen, just look up in all the nations at the United Nations. All of them are going to be cut off. But the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. So the power of the righteous going to be exalted first with the Yahushua, and then, you know, the 144,000 and the rest of the 130 elect, men and women and children, and then ultimately all Israel in the kingdom of heaven. So, you know, the Lord is working Zion's salvation, which is our salvation, the Israelites, right? So-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians. And, you know, just stay strong, stay the course, down that straight and narrow, and keep on. Don't let your faith, you know, give up and give out right now. Because we're almost home, you know, it's coming to the bitter end. So with that being said, I hope this video was edifying. The water to the Rachak Dash Basham Yahushua for another video. Until next video, I say, Shalom.